Hi, this is Kathy Goodwin, and today I'm doing a recording that's a little different from what I usually do. As you know, I am an online marketing pro. I work with business clients who are in the service industries with professionals and owners of service-based businesses. Most of them are time pressed or time starved, and they want to get online solutions that will work for them, bring them more clients and more revenue effectively. Today we're going to talk about how a few tweaks will take your content from so-so to sizzle, and I'm going to do a little demo as we do this. So here's a question I often get from my clients. This copy isn't working, but why? Not only do I get it from my clients, but I ask myself. So here are some things that I check for when I get this question, either from my copy or someone else's. First, the headlines. Are the headlines compelling? Are they enclosed in quotes? That's a small thing that can make a big difference. Do they contain a benefit? Those are some very basic considerations, and we have a whole lot more. You can look at headline templates. There are some tried and true forms, or you can certainly create your own. The main thing is compelling, attention getting, emotional, contain a benefit. Message clarity. This is one of the things I check for, and I must say I do this in my own copy as well as when I review others. A lot of times there'll be a point of confusion. For instance, I recently read some copy where someone had a headline that was about one type of service and a subheading about something totally different. You need a consistent message, and it has to be clear. A lot of times the best way to check that is to write something, come back and look at it later, and then you say, oh my God, did I write that? Or you show it to someone else and they give you feedback. Design. A lot of times you'll have brilliant copy and it's buried in the design. I see this a lot, and sometimes when I've been testing designs, I run into this myself. If you have design that's really powerful, it can actually be too good. It can overshadow the content, the message that you want to get across. Or it can be something like, if I'm using this blue background and I put blue type on it, you're going to lose the message. If you have a light background with dark type, that usually works best. A few things like that can make a huge difference. Benefits. That is really, really critical, and probably the single most reason the copy doesn't work. Benefits need to be what I call beefy. That means they need to be substantial. They need to really be something that people care about, not just nice to have. Although in some segments with some products and some markets, nice to have is just fine. And they need to be strong. They need to be something that really will make an impact in people's lives. So those are a few of the things we look at first: headlines, message clarity, design, and benefits. But the most common reason your copy isn't working is that you need to add some strategic energy. That's my term. Where is your hidden treasure? In other words, what makes you unique? A lot of times when I work with clients, we have to dig deep. I might call it excavate, because I think of dynamiting through rocks to get to the hidden treasure that's buried there that often they can't see. Sometimes other people see it. For example, in my own case, I recently have had several people say to me, well, you know, Kathy, you're so energetic. You write about coffee and you have these coffee products, and let's face it, you are a caffeinated person. That's really a lot of my hidden treasure, and you'll probably see that in more and more of my own content. What's different about you? In other words, what makes you special? What makes you unique? I call this your fab factor, what makes you fabulous. A lot of times you don't see that because you're too close to it. And that's one of the things that is really important to get out before you even start to write the copy. Is you need that strategy to underpin what you're writing. And are you writing in color or black and white? Now, I'm not referring to the color of your type here. I'm referring to the way your content is presented. Are you telling stories? Are you using metaphors? Are you using colorful images? Not necessarily images that include as graphics, but images in your content. Do you paint word pictures as you write? All these things together, your hidden treasure, what makes you unique, and your color of writing will develop what I call your strategic energy, and that comes through to people even though they don't realize it. They don't say, oh, that copy doesn't have any energy, but they think that subconsciously, and that reflects in their response. So let's do a tweak and critique. It's the fastest path to powerful content. It's priced to be affordable, and it has more impact than writing or consulting. That's what I mean by tweak and critique. And this is the way I offer a tweak and critique, but you can think of it as you can use what I'm going to explain here to develop your own tweak and critique, and if you want to go the do-it-yourself route. Here's an example. Here is a piece of copy, just a fragment, that is a combination of 3 different websites that I've been reviewing of people I've been talking to. It says, I help senior managers learn to identify and build upon the strengths of their employees and develop their skills in meaningful communication. Well, there's several things we could address here. First, what are senior managers? Do we mean people at the C level, in other words, CEO, CFO, the very top people? Do you mean middle managers? Do you mean vice president and above? And are these people in big companies or small companies? Because that makes a huge difference. If you're targeting people who work in companies like Verizon and Comcast and IBM, you have a whole different approach than if you're targeting people who work in companies of maybe 20 people. And they do have levels of management in the smaller companies, but your whole approach is going to be different. So I would start by saying something there. And remember I said earlier, when you write copy, you need that strategic energy. And if you put that energy in to develop your target market and why you're unique, why you're fabulous, a lot of these things just happen automatically as you write the copy. The next part of this is learn to identify and build upon strengths of their employees. I see this a lot. I learn to help people, I help people identify. I help people recognize. And I catch myself writing that too. People don't really pay for recognition or identification. They want to know, why should I identify these things? What is going to be the benefit? Another example would be something like getting along with people, people skills, interrelation, getting along better. Those kinds of things are really good to have, but they're good to have for a reason. Remember, people rarely buy unless they're hurting or unless they have an intense desire for something. So you have to ask, why do senior managers want to build on the strengths of their employees? I would suspect, if I were reading this, and again, this is a composite, so that it doesn't point to one particular person or marketer, I would say this would be targeting people who are having trouble managing their employees, and they want to really engage their subordinates. They want to manage them effectively and really get what they can from their employees. So the question is, why do they want to do that? Well, they want to do that because they want to get promoted. They want to be recognized. They want to have results for themselves. So in looking at this, these are the kinds of questions I would ask, and these are the things you'd want to do. And notice also we've got a lot of abstract words here. We don't have color. We have black and white. Communication, like, what is meaningful communication? Why do we want people to develop that? So we start looking at the motive. Okay, something that maybe I help Fortune 50 or Fortune 1000 senior managers at the C level or over, or if you want to go that far. And I help them leverage their employees. I help them get the most from their employees so they can accomplish their own goals, which are usually related to getting promoted, getting more money, getting bigger bonuses, getting more results. So here's how I might revise that. And again, if I were just tweaking, I might not write it out, although sometimes I will in a follow-up. But something like, I help senior managers of Fortune 1000 companies leverage the strengths of their employees to develop a platform for professional growth so they can enjoy promotion, prestige, and significantly higher compensation. Now, I'm not saying this is final, but this is definitely closer to where you want to be. That's an example of a tweak. Notice we didn't just play with the words. We got back into who you are and what makes you special. Well, we go into this even more if we know more about the person, and certainly we talk more about the target market. Wow, I hope you thought that was fast. What I offer are caffeinated consultations. They're not literally, but most people talk to me and they say, oh my God, I feel like I just had 2 cups of espresso. And that's a good feeling in many cases because we go fast. I don't like to waste people's time. And my solutions tend to be laser solutions. I've been around a while and I've picked up an ability to laser in and get really, really quickly in tune with what you're offering and what you're about and what would work for you. People tell me they maybe struggle for months with something and they work with me and it solves itself. Not because I'm more brilliant than other people they may have worked with, but because I have a lot of experience. I have a certain type of background, combination of copywriting and theoretical marketing that translates into more time, more clients, and more revenue for you. So if you want to learn more, here are 2 ways to make this happen. First, you can sign up for what I call an espresso call. That's your 60 to 90 minutes. I read things ahead of time and have a follow-up. Or you could add my most recent offering where I do a tweak and critique. And what we do is I will read your material and you get a video, much like what you saw here, only much more extensive. So here are some things to think about, and I hope you all look them up. I hope you'll look me up, and I hope to see you around the internet from time to time.